Heather, we are more than a year into COVID. And what did we say from day one? Keep going. Live your life. Do the best that you could. Don't let the mindset that was out in the world become your mindset. We can be better than that. So, here is your mental health check in as we are 13 months into COVID 19. How are you? How are you doing? Are you doing okay? For all of the things that have gone on and all the other conversations that we have had this year, we didn't want to dwell on COVID 19 because that's what everybody else was doing. But it is worth a mental health check in to see if your home, head, and health are still happy.
Yes.
How are you doing?
And you know how you said when you had more time, you'd declutter closets or you'd work
Mhm.
out or you'd cook because you never have time. So you're going to cook. And well, they shut everything down. So you probably did actually cook, my guess is, unless you're just ordering Grubhub. But now
Eh.
that I let's be real. Did you do what you said you were gonna do when you had more time, when you had more time?
I've seen that meme that says, I thought that my disorganization problem was simply because I didn't have time. COVID-19 has proved me wrong.
Yes.
So what have you done that you're proud of? And what did you think you were going to do that you didn't get done? And now we are not here to shame you.
Nope.
We are not here to say, well, see, we told you so.
We might be here to shine a mirror in your face, though.
Yes. Yes. To be able to say, okay, now that we are more than a year into this, where do you need help? Okay, it's like that math test for your kids. Okay, a bad teacher is going to say, "Well, see, I told you you should have studied harder." A good
Mhm.
teacher is going to say, "Where do you need help and how can we help you retake the test for a better grade?"
Right.
So, let's turn that mirror around. Let's take a look at what's going on. If you didn't get done the things that you thought you were going to get done during the COVID-19 shutdowns, things are starting to open up. I mean, we are on our way to back to normal. So if that means you didn't get it done beforehand, you didn't get it done during the shutdowns, and now we're going back to a busier life, a more involved life,
Yep.
where do you need help? Where can
Yeah.
we help you retake?
And
Focus on
where
the weaknesses.
and Ashley, I made myself a promise last spring that I was not going to return to that normal that I had because it was
Yeah.
too much.
Yeah.
It was crazy. And I actually had to shine the mirror in my own face, about a week ago when I was in my car, like, the entire day, and I was stressed out, and I was dinner was in a crock pot, whatever, and I was like, "I promised myself I wasn't gonna do this again."
Yeah.
And so I went in and I blocked out time in my schedule to not have appointments. Not to
Oh,
do anything in particular, but just
yes.
so that I wouldn't schedule meetings or coaching sessions or whatever so that I wasn't going crazy.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
I imagine a lot of people I know, because I saw it on social media, how many people were like, "Oh, now that I've realized how much I enjoy time with my family," or whatever. Are you listening to that person that posted that last March or April? Like, maybe go back in your Facebook feed and see what you posted.
Yeah.
What were you
What are
grateful
you
for?
loving?
What were you loving about the shutdown? Are you gonna let that get v vanish when we ramp things back up? Because I know I was just looking at my calendar and there's a lot of things on it. A
Yep.
lot,
Yep.
a
I was
lot.
out running errands today and boy, is it busy out there.
Yeah, yeah.
Rush hour starts an hour and a half
Mhm,
sooner now.
mhm.
And that's fine to a certain degree, but we all got to see a glimpse into a different world,
Mhm.
into a world that was much slower. And for some of us, that was what caused the stress. I can't
Yes,
slow down. I can't lose my job. I can't not do this.
right.
This is incredibly stressful. So, how did you pivot and how did you manage? For those of us who did enjoy the shutdown and the slowdowns, great. How are you going to maintain as we move back to a busier lifestyle? How are you going to maintain the things that you love? How are you going to permanently put them into your schedule so that you can have what you want? Because we've seen that it's possible and we've seen that we love it. But there again, if we replaced, hey, you know what? I usually worked until 5. I came home, I got dinner for the kids, I tidied up, went to
Yep.
bed, and started the whole thing all over again tomorrow.
Yeah.
Um, that's fine. But if you want something more, what are you going to do to change? What are you going to outsource? What did you not get done? You know what? Instead of going to work, I worked from home, which means I had 3 extra hours with my kids because of how things went. And instead of cleaning the house, we went and we played. And boy, oh
Yeah.
boy, do I love it.
Yeah.
Great. Then does that mean you need a housekeeper? Like, let's not look at the failures. Let's look at it as information and say, great, this is the information that I gathered. I still didn't do this, even though I had time.
Yeah.
I still didn't go and do the thing that I said I was going to do. So now, how do I fix that?
I
How do I
think you just made a
outsource?
huge point. Outsourcing. I'll tell you
Yes.
what, I've recommended getting a house cleaner to a couple of my friends, and both of them were kind of hesitant at first, but they both work full time. They both have multiple kids, and they were like super stressed out over just basic housekeeping stuff. And I said, get someone to come and help you out. Both of them did. And both of them said to me, I can't believe I didn't do this sooner.
Yeah.
I think you have to realize what's stressing you out. Like, what is it? And for me, that's a huge trigger.
Yeah.
If I walk in and God bless my children, but they trash my house. And even though we have like 1,000 discussions on, clean up after you're done eating and whatever, like I will clean up the kitchen. I will come down and do some Zoom meetings, do some work, and I walk back upstairs an hour or two later, and every surface has something on it. Like, honestly, like I can't. So it stresses me out. I can't stand to walk in the door and see a mess. So paying someone to help me with that, it creates this ripple effect of I'm not as stressed out, then I don't have the negative effects of stress on my body. My body
Yes.
doesn't hold on to body fat. I'm also not
Yes.
snapping at my kids. I'm also able to focus on work and what I'm supposed to be doing instead of walking in the door and starting to clean, which is what I do if the house is a mess. So these two friends of mine, they were like, "Oh my gosh." So sometimes, we're hesitant to release the control because maybe they won't do it how we want. It's an investment. Maybe we shouldn't be investing there. Maybe I should invest elsewhere. But if you can see that it's going to pay dividends elsewhere, it's
Exactly.
worth it.
And look how society has shifted. We used to live in a world where you had to do everything because that's how you survived. You had to be the jack of all trades. You had to
Mhm.
know how to, make a brilliant meal and go out and fix the tractor and go out and, birth a calf and go out
Yeah.
and, do all of those things. You had to be able to do that. You had to be able to be the jack of all trades. Society has changed and shifted, and we now live in a society of experts
Mhm.
where, yes, you need to be able to survive in
Mhm.
society. There's a certain amount of general information that everybody needs to know, but we've now moved into a society of experts where you don't just go to one doctor for everything.
Right.
You go to one doctor to get a referral to the expert who can help you.
Yeah.
And right or wrong, good or bad, that's the society that we have shifted into with the inventions of just modern technology and the blessing that is, whether you consider it a blessing or a curse, but we no longer need to be the jack of all trades. And if that means that, hey, if I'm not the jack of all trades and I go out and I can be the expert in what I am doing
Mhm.
and bring in twice as much as if I tried to jack of all trades it,
Yeah, exactly.
um, then let me be the expert
Right.
and I will outsource to the other person who can be the expert in the things that
Exactly.
I don't want to do.
Exactly. Well, and
And
we do that in
it's
business. Like we
yeah,
hire a
exactly.
bookkeeper, you hire people to do different things, your social media or whatever. You outsource that so that you can not be stressed out and trying to do all the things. I think we hesitate to outsource stuff at home because we feel like we're failing as a wife, as a mom, as a whatever. But I mean, even when it comes to, working out and nutrition and stuff, when you're working with a coach, you're outsourcing the need to think about it,
Exactly.
right? It's one less thing on your mind.
Yep.
You are hiring that, excuse me, that person to tell you exactly what you need to do and when you need to do it and how you need to do it because you don't have the brain space to worry about it.
Yeah.
They've read all the books, they've done all the research, they know the things. So you hire a coach to tell you what to do so that you don't have to think about it, right?
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
I think we just need to accept help. I think that's really what it comes down to is accepting help and saying, yeah, I can do all the things, but I don't want to do all the things.
And therefore, I don't have to do all the things.
Right.
I don't have
And there's
to.
no shame in that.
No. And that's just it. And that's why we want to say, hey, did you get done the things that you said you were going to do when you
Mhm.
had all of this time? If not, then it's not a time issue. I mean, this is one of the things that I
Yeah.
teach about decluttering is there are 5 main components as to why we haven't decluttered. And everybody says, "Oh, I just don't have time. I don't have time. I don't have time."
Right.
Time is one very small component of
Mhm.
all the other reasons as to why we don't
Yep.
declutter.
Yep.
So yeah, there is a time component in there, but it's not the one and only. And
No.
it's not the be all end all. And it's certainly not the biggest issue.
Right.
And so when you hire somebody like me, I can take the time to do it when you don't have the time.
Right.
Great. But if you don't have the time to do something and it's really a genuine time issue, then great. Find somebody else who has the time to come and do it. But what if it's not a time issue at all? Don't feel guilty about it. What if it's simply, I don't want to?
Right.
I thought I was gonna, and I don't want to. Or you know what? I just suck at it. I can organize my closets all day long, but when it comes to cleaning my own house, I suck at it.
Mhm.
So I hired a housekeeper so that she can do what she does best while I go and do what I do best.
Exactly.
And it's not a guilt thing. It's not it's just an outsourcing thing of look, I could do this. I have time for it. I don't want to. But then it spurs me on when she comes over and I'm working at home instead of in somebody else's house. I'm like, ooh, I need to make sure that I am on task
Yes.
so that, number one, I can pay her, but that this is justified.
Right.
If I'm dilly-dallying and wasting my time,
Right.
this is not a justified expense
Right.
or a justified transaction, a justified outsourcing. This is just me being lazy.
Yeah.
So if I
Exactly.
don't want to do something or if I don't have time to do something, let's outsource. Let's go find those things that are going to help me stay, I mean, for lack of a better term, to stay decluttered.
Mhm.
We found some happy places with the COVID shutdowns, and our
Mhm.
minds and our schedules were really clean and were
Yes.
really simple because we couldn't do anything else.
Yeah.
You like it. Okay,
Yeah.
then stay that way.
Stay that way.
Stay
Yeah.
decluttered. Outsource the things that you don't want to do or that you don't have time to do so that you can keep that schedule decluttered
And say no to things.
and say no to things. Just because restaurants are opening back up, it doesn't mean that you need to go back to eating out.
Right.
Stay decluttered in your body, in your mind, in your house.
Right. Yep.
Um, and especially as we're moving into spring here and we're thinking spring cleaning, great. Spring cleaning can pertain to your house, but it can also pertain to your mindset,
Yep.
to your schedule,
Yep.
to your eating, to what's in your fridge, to your workout routine.
Mhm.
Don't pile things on,
Mhm.
but keep it
Keep it fresh.
simple. Keep
It's
it
a good time to
fresh.
freshen things up,
Mm.
change it up.
Well, and Heather, you even said last week that, hey, you know what, coming into summer, people always say, oh, I'm going to go work out outside.
Yeah.
Why change something that ain't broke? Stick to what is working, stick to
Stick
what you have
with it.
time for,
Yeah.
what's tried and true.
It's already part of your routine.
It's already part
So
of your routine.
change your
And then
routine.
add on the outside stuff as a
Mhm.
bonus.
Yeah, it's fun.
But stick to something that is already working. Stay decluttered, stay
If you
simple.
need to like freshen up your workout, which you should every 4 weeks anyway, you should be changing your workout. You should be changing, you can change up the recipes that you're cooking or whatever, but don't throw the baby out with the bathwater just because it's
Exactly.
sunny outside. Like it's not time to just have barbecues and ice cream and, because then come October, you're going to be really mad.
Yep.
You're going to be really mad at yourself. So, yeah, it's time. Do some do some rethinking and decluttering and reorganizing of your time and figure out what you want.
So we are here to support you. Like we said, we are not here to shame you. But here's the reality check. Let's take a look in that mirror and say, okay, for all of the things that we said that we were going to do during COVID shutdown, as things start to open up, assess yourself. Where are you? What did you say that you were going to get done that didn't actually happen? What did you learn to love about a simpler lifestyle that you don't want to let go of?
Mhm.
Great. Then find that support. This is not failure. This is information. This is processing the information that you now have to be able to say, oh, okay, this wasn't a time issue. This was something else. Let me outsource. Let me delegate. Let me make sure that my schedule, my body, my mind, my home stays clean and decluttered so
Yes.
that I don't have to go back to what was. Like this is just a big old reset. Great. Reset it to the way that you want it.
Exactly.
You don't have to go back to the normal. Create your own life as you go. Create it, outsource, delegate, and we can always support you 110% as you make those changes.
Yes, we can.
So find us on Facebook. It's the Homebod Podcast. Comment here, share this with somebody who needs to hear, a word of support that, hey, this isn't a failure. This is just information so that you can create your world the way that you want it. Share this with somebody who needs to hear it today. And, like, comment, share all the
Yep.
things so that we
All the
can follow
things.
you back and support you 100% on your journey through as you get the happier home, head, and health.
Amen.